Houndstone Sand, featuring dual Megas with Mega Staraptor and Mega Venusaur, was able to get number 1 on the Champions Ladder. We're going to be trying out that team and seeing how well it can perform. This is MDB's Houndstone Dual Mega Sand team. Let's break it down. So first Pokemon we have is going to be the Mega Staraptor. And Mega Staraptor has Intimidate prior to Mega Evolving, which is a great support ability, which is able to lower the attack on the opposing side. And then when it does Mega Evolve, it does get access to Contrary, which is able to inverse any stat changes that Staraptor receives. Really nice with that close combat pairing, especially because the defense lowers that close combat effects does turn into stat increases, which is pretty nice. And Mega Staraptor is pretty cool on sand, especially with Excadrill because of the pairing. The flying type on Staraptor means you can Earthquake freely with the Excadrill, and you do threaten the grass types like Sinistra that is able to resist the ground type attacks, so that's pretty important. Another thing is you can scare away Intimidates from affecting the Excadrill because you do have access to that Contrary, which means you get an attack raise when they have an Intimidate mon, so you can actually threaten like Incineroar with a very powerful close combat, which is pretty nice. And you also have a pretty good thing with Excadrill where it's able to help out against a Pokemon that Staraptor does not appreciate, things like Mega Raichu as well as the Eternal Floettes and the Fairy types in general. So really cool pairing that the Staraptor and Excadrill do have synergy wise. We have Brave Bird for the strong flying type coverage, close combat as a really nice fighting type attack, which again increases your defenses with Contrary. Tailwind support instead of Roost here on the Staraptor, but to maintain the offensive pacing of the team, and then Protect to keep itself around. EV spread wise, you have a Jolly Nature with max speed because you want to be able to outspeed or at least speed tie opposing Staraptor, but also the base 100s, and anything below the 110s is pretty important, like Ninetales for instance can be pretty important for that fast Tailwind. And then of course you are actually going to be running bulk on this Staraptor. Since you don't have recovery, you want to probably have a little bit more general staying power, so you do want to invest in the bulk. Not really running much attack, but really the Staraptor already has a pretty high attack stat, can dish out a lot of damage. It's not really supposed to get KOs, it's more about like chipping away your opponent so that Excadrill is able to kind of clean up, or any of your other Pokemon are able to do a lot of damage, especially getting a knockout with a double up is kind of the goal of this Staraptor. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Houndstone. So Houndstone is just a very interesting Pokemon in general. Ghost type that gets access to Sand Rush, which is pretty cool, an ability that doubles the speed while the sand stream is up. And Houndstone is pretty cool as a pure ghost type, which actually has some pretty good defenses because its physical defense is really solid, and it's able to provide some really interesting support to sand as well. Not only is it fast with Will-O-Wisp, which is really helpful here, which is able to burn, of course, the opposing side and lower the attack, which is really nice into stuff like King Gambit and a lot of the powerful physical attackers in the format, but also has access to Ally Switch, which is a move that's able to swap positions with the ally, and it's actually really nice because Houndstone has really good type synergy with both like the Excadrill and Tyranitar because they're both weak to fighting type coverage. You can go for Ally Switch and then absorb those attacks, like the fighting type moves especially, be immune to those with the Ally Switch, so it can be pretty nice, especially since it is a priority move. And yeah, Citrus Berry Houndstone is just able to heal up and just kind of stick around, be very supportive, but it also can be pretty deadly as an endgame mon because Last Respect, a move that we all know from Basket Legion, powers up when its allies do faint. Last Respect can be really deadly in endgame situations if they're not careful. And the EV spread on this Houndstone, just generally a pretty bulky Houndstone, still runs a lot of speed in order to be able to outspeed Scarf Basket Legion, which is pretty important. And then the rest is going to go into still a decent amount of attack, but kind of stick around. The important part about this Houndstone is able to live attacks, especially with the Will-O-Wisp burn, stuff like Kowtow Cleave from King Gambit, some Last Respects depending on the Basket Legion set. But yeah, this Houndstone is able to burn really strong physical attackers, kind of still stick around and be a nice support with Ally Switch and just burning opponents, and then could still go offensive with the Last Respects mode. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Choice Scarf Tyranitar, which is going to be able to threaten a lot of the Charizard Ys as well as the Garchomps because it is able to outspeed them and threaten with some powerful attacks with Rock Slide and Ice Punch, especially to be able to hit those dragons, especially that Garchomp. Rock Slide, of course, being able to threaten the Charizard, and of course Incineroar and multiple other Pokemon. Knock Off, which is really great, especially in the Basket Legion if they're not Choice Scarf, because you're just able to generally one-shot with the Knock Off. And then a Low Kick, which is nice into Pokemon like King Gambit and a few others. Sand is really nice because of course you want to set up the sand because this is a sand team. You have multiple Pokemon with the Sand Rush ability, so you want to have that speed interaction. Of course, it's really good into the Weather War. The EV spread on this Tyranitar is simple. Jolly with max speed because this allows you to be able to outspeed the base 110, so you're actually able to move before your own Staraptor, so you can go for a strong attack with Tyranitar before the Staraptor moves is pretty nice. And then the max attack because you want to dish out as much damage as possible, especially with that Ice Punch to ensure the KO into no bulk Guard Chomp. And the rest is just going to go into physical defense. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Magnet Rotom Wash, powering up the power of its electric type moves, which is pretty helpful in a format where this sand team can struggle a little bit with hitting some of the bulky waters at times. So having the ability to just break through those bulky waters with this electric typing on the Rotom Wash with the Magnet as an offensive tool can be really nice into the Milotics, the Mega Blastoises, sometimes even like the Mega Staraptors on the opposing side. Can be really nice to have a Magnet powered Thunderbolt or Volt Switch, which is nice for pivoting on this team. Hydro Pump, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch are really good offensive coverage options, and then Protect to keep itself around. Levitate pairs well with the Sand team because of course it does have an Excadrill and you want multiple Pokemon that you can Earthquake next to without fearing about the consequences. And the EV spread on this Rotom still be able to take attacks with a good amount of HP and defense while gaining a lot of special attack thanks to the modest nature, as well as running quite a bit of special attack to get the extra jump point in the special attack stat. And then the 6 speed will allow this Rotom Wash to be able to outspeed Mega Aerodactyl when you are under Tailwind, which is very nice. So Rotom Wash, this is going to be a more offensive set. Again, more to break through the Pokemon that the Sand team doesn't appreciate, especially, again, bulky waters like Coil, Milotic, that could be pretty annoying otherwise. So next Pokemon we have is going to be the Focus Sash Excadrill, which is able to hit pretty hard thanks to its great offensive typing. Ground and Steel is able to do a lot against this format, especially with the Eternal Floette, Incineroars, multiple Pokemon that are weak to ground, and the Steel is really helpful for Fairies. Also being a Steel type that actually resists Fairy is very helpful to switch into Floettes potentially. And the Rock Slide to be able to hit the Charizard Wise, and of course Fast Flinch if you really do need it, but of course mainly going to be threatening the chip damage, the spread damage, and especially threatening the Charizard Y with the speed from the Sand Rush ability that it has access to, which means it doubles the speed. While in Sand, simple, just max attack, max speed. That's all you really need on a Focus Sash Excadrill. You just want to be able to hit hard and outspeed things. And it is a very powerful mon that can just do a lot of damage and potentially get KOs after chipping away at your opponents. So very effective sweeper. So final Pokemon on this team is going to be the Mega Venusaur, and this Mega Venusaur, it looks like a Focus Sash Venusaur set, but it is just holding the Mega Stone. You have the Sludge Bomb, Earth Power, Sleep Powder, Protect, which normally is a regular Venusaur set, but yeah, this is dropping the offensive Grass type move. Having the Chlorophyll ability in case you do fight Sun and you don't have a Grass type move, so you might as well just have Chlorophyll over Overgrow as it would come up more. You have Sludge Bomb and Earth Power, really good coverage options that Venusaur does have access to. Sleep Powder, which is able to help, I guess, against like the Eternal Floette balance teams and anything that's just like super slow and passive, because Sleep Powder can be super disruptive here. Protect to keep itself around. EV spread wise, you do have a lot of speed on this Venusaur, which is able to outspeed like quite a bit of the Pokemon that are currently in the format. Think of Pokemon that are trying to outspeed the Mega Aerodactyl on their tail, and then the speed creeps even further there. And then you have a good amount of special attack as well as a lot of HP, because Mega Venusaur does kind of want to stick around. So just having a good amount of HP and offense that you have capabilities for. Definitely going to be an interesting mon. We'll see how it performs. But yeah, this is going to be a Mega Venusaur set, not needing the Grass type move. I guess valuing the Sleep Powder instead for, again, just being able to punish more like passive plays in general. And also you do have a Rotom Wash that can threaten the really strong water type mons, so you don't need Giga Drain nearly as much. We'll see how it performs though. I'm a bit skeptical on this Venusaur set. So how to use the team? Well, there are quite a few different ways that you can approach the matchups, but you do have pretty good flexible options with the sand stuff. Tyranitar can lead if there is no weather on the opposing side, and you can lead it with either Houndstone to threaten fast Will-O-Wisp immediately, which can be really nice, just being able to burn, slow down opponents, and then bring in like Staraptor or Excadrill after they're weakened, and then just clean up from there can be really nice. You could also just save Houndstone in the back, which is pretty solid because the last respect option is something that opponents will have to respect. Even though Houndstone doesn't have like adaptability last respects, it's still a pretty powerful hit just because of the same type attack bonus alongside the multiplier, so it's really powerful that way. So that is an option. You can of course just lead Tyranitar Excadrill, go for fast attacks, multiple Rock Slide flinches as well. They have to fight through Iron Head plus Rock Slide or double Rock Slide flinch potentially, which can be solid, or just having Tyranitar Excadrill to set up the sand. So then you could switch into one of Staraptor and Rotom and threaten EQs, or an attack next to EQs can be pretty solid if you protect the Excadrill immediately. Just to have that sand mode just immediately be active with Sand Rush can be effective. And that's one way to set up the sand. Another way that you could just go about it is have Tyranitar in the back, especially against the Weather Wars, can be nice. You could lead something like Staraptor plus Excadrill. Really great pairing because you do threaten the fairies with the Excadrill immediately with the Iron Heads. And you do have the Staraptor that can threaten with the Tailwind, set up the Intimidate, which can be pretty nice. And just go for a lot of strong damage immediately right off the bat. Another option that you do have access to is going to be the Rotom that can just lead and go for Volt Switches, which can be pretty powerful. Volt Switch is just pretty nice to get in like Tyranitar for the sand, especially against the Weather War, or you can get in your Excadrill, maybe not wanting to risk the Sash immediately, but you need chip damage, so you go for Volt Switch, bring in the Excadrill, and then clean up with the Iron Head or the Earthquake later on is definitely a potential one as well. There's also other leads that you can go for. Venusaur plus Rotom Wash is pretty solid because you have pretty good tanky defensive mons that can still do a bunch of damage. With that Sleep Powder Venusaur, you can try to like burn some turns so that you're able to get some damage and kind of pivot around to actually bring in a threat and then KO them from there, which can be pretty solid. And yeah, there are quite a few different ways. Again, Houndstone can lead, Ally Switch has potential. Staraptor, I think, is just a generally good lead because of that Intimidate as well as the threat of Tailwind. But there are quite a few different ways that you can approach this team. If you would like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below, as well as you could try out the replica code on your screen. But otherwise, let's get started and play some games and see, is Houndstone Sand actually that good? We'll find out. All right, we have the Delphox, Blastoise, Sneasler, Sinistcha, Incineroar, and King Gambit. Delphox is kind of a weird matchup, although, well, it's more Blastoise. Blastoise is the annoying part. I guess, did I bring Venusaur? No, they have to bring Delphox, right? I think they have to bring Delphox. It's against Sando. I don't know which Mega they bring because I feel like Delphox is needed for Staraptor and Venusaur, but Blastoise is better against my non-Megas. I guess Rotom could be good here, but it's kind of a weird spot here against the rest of the supports. I think I'm definitely leading Rotom though. I think I just lead Rotom to threaten the potential Blastoise. Do I go Staraptor? Do I bring Dual Mega? No, I don't bring Dual Mega. I think I have to commit. I think we just go with Staraptor, have Houndstone, T-Tar in the back because I have multiple answers to Delphox if this is the case. I can technically play around the Blastoise yet. If they lead Blastoise, this is not an easy one. It's playable though because I can Tailwind, I guess, against Blastoise, I suppose. Or I could go for a close combat immediately, but not an easy one. Because it just depends on which Mega they bring. I feel like it has to be the Fox. Because I feel like if you don't bring the Fox, you're really weak to Venusaur. But I guess they could have like both. They could bring both. Okay, they do go Instant Delphox. That's nice. Okay, good. As I lead Staraptor Rotom. So my best play here is just to, I think it's switch out in a T-Tar and click Tailwind. And not Mega Evolve, because if I Mega Evolve, I'll be weak to the Psychic move from the Delphox. So I think it's always just go T-Tar. I think they fake out the Rotom here, but I guess they could fake out the Staraptor, but I think it's probably likely Rotom. So bring out the T-Tar. Delphox does Mega Evolve, yeah. I had a feeling it was more likely to be Delphox and Blastoise just because of the Venusaur method, but you never knew. All right, so we see the Delphox Mega Evolve. We're gonna see Fake Out come out into the Rotom slot. Yep, is this Psyshock or is this Nasty Plot? Nasty Plot, perfect. Okay, so my T-Tar didn't outspeed the Delphox before this. Now I outspeed the Delphox. So I can go for Tailwind here with my Staraptor. And now I can go for quite a few plays. I think I'm just going to go for Rock Slide Brave Bird here into the Incineroar, since it should take the knockout into anything that my opponent could really switch into. So I'm going to go for Rock Slide and I'm going to go for Brave Bird. Instant are gonna retreat. Is it Sinistra? Yep. I had a feeling it would be Sinistra. Perfect. So I do get a Brave Bird into a Rock Slide into the Sinistra slot. And I'm kind of curious if this even picks up the knockout or not, but it is still a pretty good spot to have. I think they have to protect Delphox. The double up KO would be devastating for them. Oh, they don't. Well, I get a huge Rock Slide off into Delphox, and I should get a lot of damage to Sinistra as well. So here's a Brave Bird. He covered the close combat. Yep, I do a bunch of damage to Sinistra. Is this Heat Wave? Probably. Yeah. Okay. So I don't mind that because now my Houndstone's in a very good spot, basically, because Houndstone basically always destroys the Delphox, especially because their pivot mon is just so low at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if last mon Sneasler, and if it's last mon Sneasler, I feel like I'm in a great winning spot. I could go Rotom or I could go Houndstone here. Both are pretty solid. I think I'm just gonna go out into... I think Rotom is probably better here. Because I can Rock Slide into Hydro Pump the Sinistra slot. It covers instant coming in. So I'm gonna Rock Slide and I'm gonna Hydro Pump. And the Delphox after Sand is in range of another attack. And I still have my Houndstone back, so I feel pretty good about the spot. They do switch out to Sinistra. This is instant? Yep. So I get a Rock Slide Hydro Pump in that slot, and assuming I connect, I KO here, which is massive. They have to protect Delphox or it goes down to Rock Slide. Yep. I think they're just hoping to live the Rock Slide afterward, but should be good here. Okay, another Rock Slide. And we do connect this Rock Slide. Do we connect the Hydro here? We do, so instant goes down, and if they bring in Sneasler, I can threaten Hydro Pump into Rock Slide or Thunderbolt into Rock Slide. Both work. Perfect. Alright, so feeling pretty good about the spot. We have one more turn of Tailwind to work with. Yeah, is this Sinistra? Because if Sinistra comes in, they go down to Rock Slide Volt Switch. Gambit, okay. I think my best play is just to go Houndstone. Is this SD Gambit? Well, if it's SD Gambit, that's fine still. I go for a Volt Switch into the Do I Volt Switch into Delphox? Or do I T-Bolt? I T-Bolt here. You know, I T-Bolt, yeah. I save Tyranitar in case this is low kick. I get to go Houndstone, which is pretty safe for the most part. They do go for a double protect. It fails. Perfect. And we do get a Thunderbolt off into the Delphox. So Delphox goes down. Excellent. Able to remove that threat. And now it's Sinistra is the last with Gambit. They're going to go for Sword Stance. Okay, this is Sword Stance Gambit. It wasn't low kick, but that's fine. Now I feel I'm in a pretty good spot here because I could go for several plays here. Sinistra comes in, which is fine. They go down to Sand. I think my best play is just to whisk the Gambit slot and just to go for a Thunderbolt into the Sinistra. Okay, no Sucker Punch into Rotom, which is perfect. And I wasn't sure if the Sinistra was going to protect, but this kind of covered a lot of different avenues. I think they have to kind of try to heal the Sinistra, which is why I went for this play. Because I either got to burn the Gambit, and then I can still threaten some pretty heavy damage the next turn, or I was able to remove the Sinistra here. Able to get rid of the Sinistra with the Thunderbolt. They go for Kowtow, I suppose. Oh, they went for another SD. That's greedy. That's greedy. But I still win the game because now T-Tar's in a good spot. I have Ally Switch Houndstone too, which they have to play around. So yeah, this is pretty good. But it's going to be forfeit because they cannot beat the combination of low kick T-Tar that is really healthy. That can just come in, click low kick. And I also have the Ally Switch Mind Game as well. Ah, classic. Classic. Whimsicott, Eternal Floet, the Charizard, Basculegion, Garchomp, King Gambit. Okay. Trying to figure out what I lead here. I want to lead something that isn't weak to Double Fairy. Probably just leading Excadrill, maybe Excadrill Staraptor. Excadrill Staraptor isn't bad. I could also lead Houndstone plus Excadrill because if I can burn one of the more important targets, it might be worth it. Is Rotom good here? It's good in a Garchomp, technically. It's also okay in a Basque. I don't know. Because I don't really like the Venusaur set in this matchup. Sludge Bomb Earth Power doesn't really do much here. So I think I always bring Mega Staraptor if that's the case. Mega Staraptor is only really good against a Garchomp, though. I think it's Excadrill. I'm going to do Excadrill Houndstone again with Tyranitar plus Staraptor. I still have a ground switch in with Staraptor. If they lead Garchomp plus like Whimsicott, I can burn the Garchomp immediately, which is solid to me. So let's see what they decide to lead here. Okay, what are you leading? Whimsicott Garchomp. Okay, like, I'm not super shocked here. I just wanted to make sure I covered my flow of basis, but we are going to lead Excadrill Houndstone. I guess I could have led Excadrill Staraptor too, but this is fine. They're probably very inclined to click Earthquake. So I'm going to go out on a Staraptor, and I'm going to go for a Will-O-Wisp into the Garchomp immediately. If they Rock Slide, unfortunate, but like, that's what it is. We bring out the Staraptor here and see what they decide here. They Tailwind, did they Earthquake, or did they go for something else? Could be Dragon Claw and the Houndstone too. They did Earthquake. So they do break Sash on their Whimsicott, which is actually really nice for me. They crit my Houndstone. Okay, that's not a good start. Please at least hit. Oh, that's such a bad crit. Okay, at least we hit. Good. So now the Garchomp's in a really rough spot here. Do I want to go for Tailwind or do I want to Brave Bird? I don't want to protect a still allow Tailwind here. They're probably going to... This is probably Rock Slide Moonblast or they switch out the Garchomp. I got a lot of options. I could probably figure out a good sequencing route though. I don't think I need Tailwind in this game. I have speed control as long as I manage the board, but I think I double protect here. You might be thinking, why double protect? There's a potential Encore from Whimsicott pressure. I'm hoping to ally switch on the turn they go for Encore here into Staraptor. So let's see. Moonblast into... Oh, they target the Houndstone. Maybe they red ally switch immediately. They go for Rock Slide. Okay. I would really, really not want to Mega Evolve if I don't have to. I think I'm just going to go for regular Brave Bird, and I'm going to go for Ally Switch. Even though they Moonblasted the Houndstone, they might have been reading like a Protect from Staraptor, but let's see. We will Ally Switch. I'm not Mega Evolving in case of the Moonblast. Like, Rock Slide Moonblast isn't KOing me at the very least if I get this play wrong. They do Encore to Staraptor. Okay, so I was right there. I was able to get the Encore target right, so perfect. And we're gonna see Rock Slide Staraptor. Very nice. Okay, makes up for the crit earlier. All right, Houndstone eats that. I get the KO into Whimsicott. They're down to like a few turns of Tailwind, which is pretty nice. I also, what I like about this play too is it makes me less weak to the Last Respect option from the Basque Legion. So that's pretty nice because I kept my normal typing on Staraptor. So Whimsicott goes down. If they bring in Basque, I get to scout for like what they decide to lock into if it's Scarf Basque. So because we know it's Life of Garchomp. Let's see, is it Basque Legion or Charizard? Charizard coming in, okay. Do I need... Houndstone's nice. But it's not necessary to win. This is the last turn of Tailwind for my opponents. I always protect Staraptor. The question is, what am I doing with Houndstone? I think my play is just to always go for sack Houndstone. I think that's the correct play here. I could go hard into Garch or Tyranitar as well if I want to preserve the Houndstone, which isn't terrible, but if I get like Heatwave burned, it's really bad. So I think I just protect Staraptor and I go for a sack the Houndstone. Houndstone has already done enough to protect the Staraptor and neuter the Garchomp to where it's not really putting on much pressure against me, so this is fine. Drought is up. But we have the Protect from Staraptor, and we're going to see a fail ally switch here. They go for Rock Slide. And Heat Wave, I imagine. This is Weather Ball. It's fine, but it's shocking if it's Weather Ball. They're also taking a lot of recoil, which is nice because they might be in close combat range soon from Staraptor. Heat Wave is going to come out. I'd ideally want you to hit Houndstone. I don't want the miss. Okay, nice. I don't want the miss because it ruins my sequencing plan, because that means I actually have to risk Tyranitar on the switch. Now I can go out in a Tyranitar pretty safely here and click Rock Slide. And Charizard cannot live Rock Slide from Tyranitar, if I'm not mistaken. It's way more powerful than like a Garchomp Rock Slide. So Rock Slide from Tyranitar, and we Mega Evolve our Staraptor, and we click Tailwind here. The reason we Tailwind is because this covers for Scarf Basculegion in the end game, and they are going to retreat Charizard, which is fine as this Basculegion. Basculegion comes out, that's acceptable. But right now, even if it's Scarf Bask, it's looking pretty good with Rock Slide. I guess it could be Mystic Water, but if it's Mystic Water, Sand plus Rock Slide and a Brave Bird should KO the Basculegion, I imagine. Rock Slide connects with both, thankfully. Nice. Good damage to Bask. And Tailwind is set up from Staraptor. So now I have speed advantage for the rest of the game. They go for Rock Slide. Yeah, that's not doing any damage. Because they can't really Earthquake their own Basculegion and take a bunch of damage in response. So now Tyranitar is pretty comfortable. I get to click Rock Slide Brave Bird into the Basculegion slot. And that should KO unless this is Citrus Bask. I think Citrus Bask is the only way. But even if it's Citrus Bask, I still think Excadrill, Staraptor are still in really good spots. So we go for Rock Slide, we go for a Brave Bird, and we should be good to go, I say. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident about how I got this endgame set up really nicely. So let's see. Brave Bird, Rock Slide. We do connect the Rock Slide. That should be the final. Well, it's not the final Rock Slide I need to connect. I need to connect one more on the Charizard eventually. Brave Bird into Bask. Bask goes down. Excellent. And then Garchomp. Shouldn't be able to knock me out even for crits. They go for Rock Slide and miss my T-Tar, sure. I'm trying to figure out what gives me the best odds of winning. Oh, it's definitely switch out T-Tar. My T-Tar is healthy, so I like don't worry about the Charizard here. Do I close combat or do I protect? I probably just protect. Well, the battle's gonna be forfeit anyway. I think I could even not lock in the Rock Slide and still probably win. I probably just Brave Bird the Charizard, switch Tyranitar for Excadrill, and probably be fine. Just spam attacks. All right, we have Pyroar, Sylveon, Kangaskhan, Venusaur, Farigiraf, and Torkoal. Okay. This is definitely one heck of a matchup here. I'll say that. Because Trick Room stuff is not excellent for me to play against. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. Am I bringing Rotom? I feel like I should always bring Staraptor. Is it Staraptor Excadrill? Or am I leading Houndstone immediately just to pressure Wisp into Kang? It might be just pressure Wisp into Kang here. Oh, this is going to be a super awkward game. I don't really like Venusaur too much in this matchup. It only really helps out against the Sylveon. They also have a Charizard Venu mode, which is also pretty annoying. I think it is probably Houndstone, Staraptor lead. I think that's probably my best choice. And then in the back, I probably have to bring Tyranitar, and I bring Excadrill because I cannot beat Sylveon otherwise. This is going to be a rough one. The combination of Farigiraf with Sun stuff is not great when they have Sylveon that threatens a lot of damage. And Kangaskhan kind of is actually kind of annoying. Let's see. Farigiraf Kangaskhan is not surprising here. Versus Houndstone plus Staraptor. I'm debating lines. This is Scrappy. Yep. So they could hit my Houndstone with a fake out, or they could fake out the Staraptor. I think my best play is just to click close combat, and I need damage into the Farigiraf. I don't think I'm allowed to take the knockout into Kangaskhan, because if I take the knockout into Kangaskhan, they could get a free switch to Sylveon, and that's really bad for me. So I think I leave Kangaskhan alone for the current moment. I just go for a Will-O-Wisp into... How fast is the Houndstone again? Min speed Kangaskhan can underspeed. I think I just whisk the Kang to be safe. As much as I would like to whisk the Farigiraf. Oh, they switch out the Kangaskhan into Sylveon. Good play on their part. Okay. I understand that play because they get the fighting resist and Sylveon's in a pretty good offensive position against me. At least I got good damage into Farig, as well as like Whisk I can build up into Sylveon to put in range of Iron Head, which is not terrible at least. So I get some pretty good damage to the Farigiraf. And here's a Will-O-Wisp. Okay. Not awful. Trickern comes out. Okay, the problem is I do not have a resist here other than Excadrill. Am I risking Excadrill here? Probably. My best play is probably just to switch Excadrill Protect. Because if I double tacked here, then I just still have to risk something. So I think it's probably better to just go hard into Excadrill and Protect. They might double the Staraptor though. I think they double the Staraptor actually. I think I'm going to protect the Staraptor and go hard into Excadrill in this slot. Oh, Farigiraf retreats Kangaskhan? That makes sense. I almost debated about Wisping the Farigiraf slot just for residual damage and in case to cover for Kangaskhan, but I actually didn't think Kangaskhan was actually going to hard switch in there. That's because I think Staraptor lives one Hyper Voice. So this is actually very interesting. Okay, they do go for Hyper Voice. It's not really a powerful Sylveon, so not terrible. I think I probably get a close combat off into Kangaskhan ideally. And do I Iron Head as well, or do I protect? This could be fake out, but if they fake out, that's fine. Just to double up an Excadrill is kind of annoying. But I think it's probably worth it still. I think I'm going to Iron Head Sylveon. I'm pretty sure Hyper Voice is not KOing Staraptor in one shot. So I should get a close combat to Kangaskhan, and then I should be able to get an Iron Head off into Sylveon potentially, unless again it's a double up or a fake out. I'm also kind of curious on what the moves from the Kangaskhan will run, because Low Kick isn't like crazy damage in Excadrill, but we'll see. I think the only way I lose again either Pokemon is they have to double up that slot. We do see the Kangaskhan Mega Evolve. Alright, so no Mega Pyro in this game, which is helpful, but it makes sense against a Tyranitar team that they don't bring it. But I need to cover for it anyway because it's a big threat to my Staraptor mode. Hyper Voice is going to come out. The question is, who did he double up? They did target Staraptor, so I'm very glad I played on the offense with the Excadrill. I mean, it would have been better if I went Houndstone immediately, but this is still pretty reasonable for me. So, feeling pretty good about this. Iron Head does come out, and that means Sylveon's gone, which means no Hyper Voice that I have to worry about for the rest of the game, which is huge. Alright. And the Kangaskhan doesn't have Scrappy anymore, so it can't hit Houndstone immediately. I go out into my Houndstone guaranteed here. So Kangaskhan's always running Fake Out. We know it's Double Edge. It might be Ice Punch on this team. I think they probably drop Sucker, most likely. So they probably have the Fighting move. So I gotta watch out for the Fighting move. Oh, Venusaur came in. They didn't bring the Sun, but they brought Venusaur. Interesting. Ooh, that's kind of bad for me. That is kind of bad for me. Okay. I think I have to Will-O-Wisp the Kangaskhan no matter what. And then I'm guessing I'm protecting Excadrill. This is going to be a bit awkward. Let's see if they read this, but I don't know if they have like a crazy play that I can double up the Houndstone with. Oh, my Houndstone is faster than the Kangaskhan, which is nice. So I do get the Will-O-Wisp off before, which is massive actually. Okay. They went for Drain Punch. Okay, that's really nice. I could Ally Switch the next turn if I want to. Sleep Powder. Okay. I think this game is just going to come down to sleep turns, potentially. I always go for a double up into Venusaur. I double up the Venusaur, or do I go for a double protect attempt? I think I just Iron Head and go for Last Respect. First turn of sleep, Drain Punch. Does this KO? It does, yeah. I don't think the Drain Punch knocks out Kangaskhan. Last Respect knockoff should get rid of the Venusaur. But how much damage is the Venusaur about to do? Or is it... Okay, it is Energy Ball like I thought. It's a lot. I imagine this is Sash Venusaur. I just need Houndstone to wake up, I think. What? How healthy is the Giraffe? And I guess if the Giraffe has Protect, that's also an angle I have to think about. Giraffe's not super healthy. I think if I can Last Respect the Venusaur and knock off the Venusaur, I think I need to wake up here. If I wake up, I think I have a high chance of winning. If I don't wake up, it's over. Because if I wake up, I live the Drain Punch, I'm pretty sure. I can then... I do threaten an ally switch Mind Game the next turn too. Oh wait, they tarred the Houndstone again. Wait, that gives me outs. Okay. Because this doesn't KO T-Tar, yeah. I think if I wake up there, I'm in a huge commanding spot. Now I think it's... I think I still lose even after, actually, because I took so much damage on Houndstone. I think without taking all that damage, it actually was a spot I could, maybe. But now it's looking chopped here. I'm going to ally switch knockoff. I'm guaranteed to wake up. I KO the Venusaur, then maybe I can eliminate Giraffe, but I don't think I beat the Kangaskhan anymore because the Houndstone took too much damage, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, they give themselves the highest odds here of getting the double protect, or getting a protect here, which makes sense. So now I have to get a double ally switch. Sleep Powder. Knock off. If I knocked off Kangaskhan, did it change anything? Not really. Because, like, I don't eliminate the Kangaskhan quickly enough. Alright, double ally switch time. Double ally switch time. Can we get a double ally switch? And even if I get a double ally switch, I need the Giraffe not to protect, probably. Come on, Houndstone. Come on, Houndstone. I'm pretty sure it's not guaranteed to fail. I'm pretty sure it's just a 1 out of 3. They go for a double, they fail it. Can I get mine? Nope, that's probably over because I can't beat Giraffe now. Oh man. I felt this game was pretty decent too. It just came down to the 2-turn sleep, or if I get the double ally switch, maybe there's a chance because maybe Houndstone can 1v1 the King with Sand plus the residual damage from Burn, but that is unfortunate. Venusaur was just a bit too problematic endgame wise. Did I have anything for it? I mean, this did seem tough dealing with Giraffe plus Sylveon. I guess if I burned the King earlier, that would have given me an opportunity to click Wisp, but that Houndstone would have taken Hyper Voice damage. I mean, I got like a lot of the plays right. Rotom wasn't even that good here, so yeah, this was just going to be a tough one no matter what, I think. Because Venusaur wasn't really helping me in this matchup. Well, it could have, but like Psychic was probably doing a lot and I wasn't doing enough back. And Rotom's just not doing anything. So I think gameplay-wise, I think it was fine for the most part. Just came down to Sleep Powder. But that is the life of playing against Venusaur. So yeah, can't do much about it. All right, we have Cleaver, Delphox, Raichu, Farigiraf, Sneasler, Meowscarada. What is this team? Okay, Sand is looking pretty good against this team. They do not have the best Sand answers. Tyranitar Excadrill plus Houndstone looks really good to me. I don't think I need Rotom in this matchup. Venusaur doesn't look that great. I think it's probably Staraptor. Or Rotom, because Hydro Pump Rotom is actually not bad here, but I kind of like these four. I realistically like the Excadrill plus Tyranitar just getting the stand up because they have so many things that are weak to it. Like, what can they lead here? Sneasler plus Giraffe, I guess? I mean, they risk a lot at the start, so kind of curious here. We'll see. Sneasler plus Cleaver, okay. Versus Tyranitar Excadrill. I'm just gonna go to Houndstone here and click Protect. If they Stone X my Tyranitar, that's fine. If they go for fighting moves, that's okay as well. This covers Fake Out. This doesn't cover Faint, which is the only play that could go wrong here. But let's see. I will protect my Excadrill, go Houndstone. I think it's like overall a safe play because I can Wisp the next turn. They do Fake Out my Excadrill. Yep. And what did they do with Cleaver? Tailwind. Okay, that's fine too. Actually, Cleaver is faster than Excadrill. Usually, because they run Jolly. I could Ally Switch. Ally Switch Ironhead isn't a bad play here. Yeah, Ally Switch Ironhead isn't a bad play here. It kind of covers like a lot of what they can do. Do I Self Earthquake or do I Ironhead? I think I just Ironhead because I don't want Houndstone to take too much damage because Houndstone's actually good here. So let's Ally Switch. They cover for the fighting type attacks. Yep, they close combat my Excadrill. Perfect. Oh, I am faster than Cleaver. Okay, they're Adamant. They're Adamant Sash. I thought they would be Jolly Sash because Jolly Sash outspeeds my Excadrill. Unless I'm Jolly. I thought I was Adamant, but I'll double check. They go for X's or 2, so this is perfect. I mean, it's a resist on Houndstone, so and they don't get rocks up, so this is actually pretty good here. I wonder if they have Faint, because I was trying to cover for Faint Close Combat too, but this works out. Yeah, I am Adamant Excadrill, that's what I thought, so it is Adamant Cleaver. Now I can go for Rock Slide, Last Respect here? Or do I just Ironhead Last Respect? I could also just Ironhead to Cleaver, not to risk a miss, and I could go for Will-O-Wisp into Sneasler. Which I think is pretty reasonable. I think I'm going to go for a Wisp into Sneasler, and I'm just going to Ironhead to Cleaver. Okay, they go for Dire Claw into Houndstone. That's perfect, since I will get the KO into the Cleaver. I do get paralyzed, which is super unfortunate, but okay. Ironhead comes out into the Cleaver, so Cleaver goes down, and do we hit the Wisp into the Sneasler? That would be very nice, but let's see. Nice. So Burn Sneasler is very, very nice. Last Respect wasn't doing that much damage. It might have put in range of Ironhead, but like that's it. Okay. Now they're taking a bunch of residual damage. Let's see who's being brought out for Rigraff, or are they bringing out like a Delphox or something? The pair is really unfortunate because it means if Delphox is in the back, I'm a little bit scared against it, but Giraffe does come out. Okay. I can Ally Switch if I want to. Ally Switch Earthquake isn't a terrible play. The question is there a... Is it that bad if I click Earthquake Ally Switch? I don't think it is. I think I'm just going to click Earthquake Ally Switch. Okay, let's see. I would like to KO the Sneasler here if they give me the opportunity to, and I'll get damage into Giraffe, which I do need damage into Giraffe. Yeah, they close combat the Excadrill slot, beautiful, so Houndstone will be able to absorb it. Earthquake comes out into the Sneasler, goodbye Sneasler, and the Giraffe is now weakened, which is really good for me. Let's see what they decide to click here. It's going to be the Psychic into the double up actually into what was the Excadrill, and Houndstone goes down, but that's actually perfect because Houndstone goes down, now I get a free switch. And we're going to go out into Staraptor here. If it's Delphox in the back, I think I just am in a pretty good spot. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Delphox back if they forfeit because they can't win if it's Delphox back because Tyranitar just wins by clicking knockoff, so beautiful. Alright, we have the Delphox, Incineroar, King Gambit, Sinistcha, Sneasler, and Blastoise. Okay. It's kind of the same thing. I'm really expecting Delphox over the Blastoise here. I could actually see them justify bringing both Megas, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, this is not an easy one per se, but definitely manageable. I might bring... I think I go with... trying to figure about lead-wise here, what do I go? I'm thinking it's Houndstone. No, it's Rotom plus Staraptor, which I think is pretty good, and then Houndstone, Tyranitar back. Let's see if the plan still works. I like the idea of just being able to threaten the Tailwind immediately with Staraptor. Rotom's a pretty big threat to the Delphox, so they're probably going to respect it. I could go into the T-Tar. I don't know if this is the same play that we played against previously, but Sinistcha Sneasler is definitely not a lead I would have anticipated. Okay. Rotom and Staraptor, though. Okay. It's not wider, but it's probably Sash, so that makes sense here. This is a really weird spot for them. And I mean a really weird spot. This is a very interesting lead choice. I'm kind of curious on the decision behind this Sinistcha Sneasler. But okay. I have a few options. I could close combat immediately. I could go for Brave Bird. I could go for Volt Switch plus Brave Bird to try and KO the Sinistcha. Got a lot of options. I could double protect here as well. This might be like a bait so they can try to get a coaching off, but I don't think a coaching really saves them here. So not exactly sure. I think I'm just going to try to Volt Switch out to the Sneasler, and I'm going to protect the Staraptor. And I'm going to Mega Evolve Protect because then I have access to Contrary, so if Incineroar ever tries to switch in, it's going to get caught. I don't think Rotom's that important other than lead-wise, so I think this is fine. But let's see. I'm expecting Fake on the Staraptor. They stayed in, so kind of curious on what they're going to go for. Fake out in the Staraptor, that makes sense. Is this Matcha Gacha? Like, is this really? Because I'm like, where's the... What's the plan here? You can Matcha, but like, what else? I could go Tyranitar or I could go Houndstone. Houndstone's a pretty reliable endgame, but Tyranitar is just so good into this team that I think like just taking any damage from Tyranitar just doesn't make sense. I'd rather risk the burn, I think, on the dog. So let's see. Matcha Gacha. Well, I did say I was willing to risk it. Unfortunately, we did risk it, and unfortunately, that is going to be the case here. So unfortunate here, but what can I do? All right. Maybe their plan was just to spam burns. Okay, so I have Brave Bird as an option to Sinistcha. Like, last respect, Brave Bird is definitely a considerable option, especially since Sneasler probably doesn't have Protect. I think I'm going to double up the Sinistcha with Brave Bird plus Last Respect. If I can get rid of Sinistcha, that's a huge annoyance to my Tyranitar and Rotom, which I think is pretty worth it. And I don't know if Sneasler's going to retreat here or not. Probably not, but oh, they Protect. Okay. And to Dire Claw. Okay. No status. Good. All right. That's not too bad. The only awkward part about this is my Staraptor is not max attack. So I don't think I KO Sinistcha with a Brave Bird. I think I'm just going to Last Respect. Did I still go for the double up here? I think I still go for the double up here. There's not a switch that they have other than maybe King Gambit. I could anticipate the King Gambit though, and I guess I could burn the Sinistcha with like Will-O-Wisp. And I can go for a Brave Bird into the Sneasler, or a Close Combat or Brave Bird into Sneasler, which is an annoying Pokemon for a Tyranitar, so getting rid of it is not too bad. I think I'll go for it. I'm going to go for the Sneasler. They stay in with both, okay. Dire Claw, no status thankfully, but we just have to play around a bunch of statuses now. Brave Bird comes out, KOs the Sneasler, so Sneasler's gone. Great. Do we land Wisp? We do land Wisp into the Sinistcha, so that is getting burned. So residual damage is going to be nice. I guess Delphox is going to be a bit annoying now, but I guess it's still acceptable. Matcha Gacha, dodge, Houndstone. Not that big of a deal, realistically. I think Staraptor, just because of the burn chance, would have been more impactful. No burn, okay. Houndstone should live a Heat Wave. King Gambit coming in. Okay, so they're trying to set up Gambit. I don't have Rage Powder, or I don't have Rage Powder. Okay, interesting here. I don't know if Sucker Punch gets a Staraptor. It probably does with Black Glasses, realistically. I could go for like Ally Switch Close Combat. They could go for Rage Powder here with Sinistcha and SD. There's a lot that could go on here. Ally Switch Close Combat, if they get greedy here, seems pretty potent though. Because if they try to like Sucker Punch and Matcha Gacha here, that'd be really nice. I think I'm gonna try it. Some instinct in me is calling for this play. Let's see if it works. I don't think we saw Rage Powder. Ally Switch is coming out from the Houndstone. Oh my goodness. I called it. Okay, something was telling me that there might have been a sucker punch into the Staraptor. I get it. I get a close combat off into Kingambit. Kingambit goes down crazy because I also could have read like Protect as well from Sinistra too. So Trick Room comes out. Oh man, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for me. Okay, awesome. I still gotta watch out because Sinistra could still technically win, but right now, pretty decent spot. Oh, they brought Blastoise back. Ooh. I gotta watch out. I can get destroyed by Shell Smash at any point. Ooh, okay. That's tough, actually. I think my best play here is just to sack Staraptor, protect Houndstone. Yeah, it's to protect Houndstone, so I still have the threat of Last Respect. Because the speed order should be Blastoise is probably faster than my Houndstone, so in Trick Room, Houndstone's faster, which is important. They go for Machagacha. Makes sense. I mean, I imagine this is Machagacha Water Spout. Like, I can't really see another play that they go for here. Okay, they get a bit of recovery. Yeah, it's Water Spout. That's not surprising to me. Okay. I need to power up my Last Respect so I can actually threaten Sinistra for some pretty heavy damage. And then I think I bring out the Rotom because Rotom puts on a lot of offensive pressure and either forces a Protect from Blastoise or it forces a Rage Powder from the Sinistra. Both work. So we heal with Citrus Berry. Now we go Rotom. And I think my best line is just to protect Rotom and go for a Last Respect into the Sinistra. It covers Protect Blastoise, Machagacha, covers Rage Powder, although I think Machagacha Protect is pretty safe for my opponent, so that's why I'm going for this play. And then next turn, we're going to have to guess on the Sinistra, but at least I'll be able to build up damage towards Sinistra, which is important. Yeah, this is a tough endgame. Did not expect Trick Room Route with Blastoise being in the back, but great idea for my opponent. Rage Powder comes out, okay. So I could have Thunderbolted here, which is unfortunate, but that's acceptable. We do get a pretty... Oh, this is Cassette Berry, okay. Oh, I did nothing to Sinistra. Did nothing. They Dark Pulse my Houndstone? Okay. This might still be manageable, yet it's looking pretty rough. It depends on the Blastoise speed here. Does it have Protect even? It probably does, right? I think you should have Protect, Shell Smash. My speed is the Rotom is the slowest here. I wonder if I should Thunderbolt Rock Slide. I just don't know if they click Spout here. They could Rage Powder Spout, but I am going to go for Rock Slide, Thunderbolt into Blastoise. If they protect Machagacha, though, the better play is to Thunderbolt to Sinistra and Rock Slide. But they didn't. Okay, so they went for Machagacha. That's fine, because I do eat up the attack. And then thanks to the Thunderbolts, I should do a lot of damage to this Blastoise, so it doesn't do any damage to Tyranitar afterward. Okay, Magnet, Thunderbolt. Almost KOs Blastoise. Please tell me they spouted. Nice. Okay. We have a chance now. We have a chance now. Because I got that Thunderbolt damage, I'm able to get the Rock Slide off, which is huge into the Sinistra. I don't have to hit the Blastoise because it goes down to sand, but I do have to hit the Sinistra. I do hit the Sinistra, which is perfect. Maybe knockoff was better for the damage, but yeah, it's still a close one, but at least now we actually have a chance, I think. Because I'm guaranteed another Rock Slide into the Sinistra, and then this is the last turn of Trick Room, so I can protect Rotom, Rock Slide, and then Thunderbolt Rock Slide, and we'll see if I can get the KO into the Sinistra. I might have to Hydro Pump, but we'll see. I could also dodge any of the Machagachas, and if I dodge any of the Machagachas, the game is secured probably like that. You know what? We'll take it. We'll take it. Rock Slide and Sinistra. Well, here's the thing. They got damage recovery, but I think as long as I hit the next Rock Slide, I probably still win anyway, unless I get burned. But they already burned me once, so nice. I think they should have went for Matcha Gotcha Burn and then survive Thunderbolt or dodge Hydro Pump, but you know what? I'll take it. All right, we have Blaziken, King Gambit, Basket Legion, Sylveon, Torkoal, and Aerodactyl. All right, so I think they usually run Dual Mega on this team, which is okay. Am I leading Staraptor? Staraptor is pretty good as a lead. The only threats are like Sylveon, which I can lead Excadrill. Excadrill Staraptor is a pretty good lead, I think, against my opponent's team. Venusaur doesn't really do much. Rotom's okay. But I like Excadrill, Staraptor. I like Houndstone for fighting immunity, which is pretty good. And then I think Tyranitar. Rotom is also pretty decent. And I guess I don't have to worry about like hitting Willis, but my problem is the Rotom's not fast on this team. And I also want as much offensive pressure into Sylveon as possible because I think Sylveon's the most annoying Pokemon. And it's not like Rotom, Tyranitar, Houndstone really switch into Hyper Voice that well, but at least Tyranitar can hit like both the Sylveon for decent damage as well as the partner, while Houndstone Last Respect is something that my opponent does have to respect. So let's see. I like Staraptor Excadrill here because it puts on a lot of pressure. If they lead Blaziken plus King Gambit, I do have access to Tailwind Earthquake immediately. I have access to Close Combat Earthquake. There's a lot that I can do with it, so this should be pretty good. Mega Blaziken, it outspeeds Excadrill, but if they don't Mega Evolve, it's fine. I'm kind of curious if they bring Aerodactyl or not. I'd say probably not, but we'll see. What are you going to lead? Going to be Blaziken Sylveon. Okay, so I mean, I got my best lead here, which is Staraptor Excadrill here. And I'm kind of curious on what they go for here, but I think Tailwind Earthquake is pretty safe. Like, what really stops me from Tailwind Earthquaking here? I don't think anything stops me from Tailwind Earthquaking. And in regular form too, because Staraptor is faster than the Blaziken probably, because the Mega Blazikens don't run Jolly. They run Adamant. I outspeed the Blaziken. Earthquake should KO it. If they protect Sylveon, that's fine. I'm just going to Tailwind Earthquake. This could be double protect. This is protect from Blaziken, which is not too surprising to me. Did they protect Sylveon? Yeah. So this works out fine, because next turn I do threaten Close Combat Earthquake. I do threaten Iron Head immediately. There's a lot of plays I can go for. So this is still a pretty good position, I'd say. Yeah. I feel pretty good about this spot now. Perfect. So that Tailwind from Staraptor is going to be a massive, massive threat, because now they don't have access to Quick Attack plus a Close Combat KO before Excadrill moves. So now I have like so many options. Ideally, I want to get rid of the Sylveon. I wonder if they're going to preserve Sylveon or they think I'm turning the Blaziken, because I did Earthquake that immediate turn. I could also go for Earthquake Brave Bird, which could KO Sylveon here. And it might. But my problem is I don't have much attack on the Staraptor, so I kind of doubt it. So I think I'm actually going to go for Iron Head plus Close Combat. Because Blaziken's at -1 attack is not doing too much. Okay, they stay in with both, which is fine. Maybe they go for Quick Attack plus an attack into the Excadrill slot, but that's alright. Like, me KOing the Sylveon is basically what Excadrill really needed to do in this matchup. They do Mega Evolve the Blaziken, okay. I don't think Earthquake Brave Bird just knocks out Sylveon. Well, if it's defensive. If it's offensive, it probably goes down, but I'm not risking it with one attack Staraptor. Oh, they don't even Quick Attack, so I get a Close Combat Iron Head off. You're not Babiri Berry, right? They don't run Babiri Berry Sylveon. That's like Draft League stuff. Beautiful. Iron Head into the Sylveon. Takes a knockout. I have a defense boost, which is really great on Staraptor. And this is Close Combat. Yeah, Close Combat into the Excadrill. So Excadrill will be brought down to Sash. If it's Basket Legion, that's fine. Okay. Because the Basket Legion on these teams, do they run Sash? I want to say yes. Torkoal coming in. I have a Tyranitar though. Do they want to bait me to switch? I mean, I don't see a reason why I never just go Tyranitar and click Brave Bird into Blaziken. Yeah, I'm just going to go for it. Even if they switch out Torkoal, like, sure, that's fine. I could switch out the T-Tar the next turn. I just make sure that my Staraptor's not vulnerable to a eruption here. So I think that's always the best course of action. I can always sack my Excadrill, but I feel pretty good about this because Tyranitar with Sand up, plus the Staraptor, plus 1 Spadef shouldn't take damage here. Yeah, they protect. Is this Yawn? Burning Jealousy? As we Brave Bird into the protect. Burning Jealousy, okay. So yeah, it does absolutely nothing. Cool. I actually didn't even know if it was confirmed Burning Jealousy, but I had some suspicion that Torkoal was doing something if it was coming in like this. Okay. And also, like, Eruption Torkoal doesn't really make too much sense without Trick Room. Okay, it's leftovers Torkoal, but that's fine. We just swap out the Tyranitar. I'm gonna go hard into my... Do I sack Excadrill here? Or do I just sack Houndstone? Or do I just go Houndstone on a close combat? I think I go Excadrill. Actually, yeah, I think I go Excadrill. Because I think health on Houndstone's pretty valuable. So I'm going to go for Brave Bird into Blaziken, and I'm going to swap out Tyranitar. They're probably going to close combat. I don't want to close combat and get burned with Staraptor. I'd rather take the residual. So yeah, they go for close combat again, which is fine. They're probably going for Burning Jealousy. Or they might go for Yawn, but both are acceptable here. So Excadrill goes down. I'm guaranteed to KO Blaziken with Brave Bird. And then let's see what the final Pokemon is. Because I imagine it's Basket Legion. If it's Basket Legion, I feel pretty good about my spot. Because I think Houndstone is in such a good position. Alright, Blaziken gone. Especially because they knocked me out, I can actually threaten Houndstone with Last Respect. Yeah, they go for Burn Jealousy again. Perfect. Nice. And now... I guess if the Torkoal has Body Press, this isn't an easy win, but we do have a pretty okay spot here. If it's King Gambit, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Let's see which Mon you're bringing out. If it's Basket Legion, yep. Okay. Three turns of Sandstorm. Last Respect is powered up. Last Respect should KO a frail version of Basket Legion, and I do outspeed Scarf guaranteed here. Should I confirm if it's Scarf? I think the best play is just to Double Protect, realistically. I think Double Protect is pretty safe. Because unless Basket Legion has like some way to set up, like Substitute or something, we should be good. I also get to confirm if it's Scarf because the Sand damage will activate on the Basket Legion before the Staraptor if that's the case. Okay, Last Respect comes out into Houndstone. They go for a Weather Ball into the Staraptor. Moment of Truth. Staraptor's faster, so that means the Basket Legion is not Scarf. It could be the Ghost Berry, but I'm still going to go for Last Respect into the Basque, and I think I'm going to go for Close Combat into the Torkoal, because at this point I think they're done spamming Burning Jealousy, so I think I'm going to go for Close Combat. Let's see, Houndstone, can we knock out the Basket Legion with Last Respect here? It's 100 base power, but Houndstone's not like the most offensive. Basket Legion does have the best physical defense stat, but I mean, that thing can be super tanky. So let's see. Last Respect. Maybe I should Brave Bird a double, but I was worried about attacking to protect. Okay, yeah, I KO'd the Basket Legion is what I thought. So Basket Legion goes down, and that should secure the game because Houndstone should also just win at this point. We go for Close Combat. Get damage into Torkoal. They go for Burn Jealousy again. Okay, that's fine. Because even if you get the burn on Staraptor, at this point, I've already isolated the Torkoal. So all I have to do is just spam attacks on the Torkoal, and I do win. So yeah, we'll just click Last Respect. Actually, also, it's Burning Jealousy, Weather Ball. You want to see Protect. Is it no Body Press? I assume it has Body Press, but maybe it's Yawn instead. I'm not 100% certain, but... Alright, we have Sneasler, Blastoise, King Gambit, Delphox, Sinistra, and Incineroar. Also, I don't know why my Elgato stopped recording the audio, but thankfully it should be fixed now. This matchup again. I don't like dealing with this matchup. I think it's still the same plan, though. I'm pretty sure I'm just leading Staraptor plus Exca. Tyranitar, Houndstone in the back. Actually, wait, did I bring Exca? No, I didn't bring Exca. What am I doing? I thought this was the Floette team. Okay, no. This is Staraptor plus Rotom with Houndstone, Tyranitar back. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Alright, so this is a different order from the second player who had this team, I think, but I don't remember if this is the same order as the first one. We'll see how this matchup plays out. Like the Sash, Sneasler, the Shell Smash Blastoise, Nasty Plot Delphox. I guess the Gambit has Iron Head, or maybe only some of them do. I thought it was like Swords Dance generally, but I guess like 3 setup might be a bit too much. Let's figure it out. Incineroar Gambit, that is okay. I'm getting deja vu. Did I play something like this? I think it's fine. Yeah, this is fine. I think I'm just actually gonna go for a double attack turn 1 though this time. This time I'm actually gonna play safe. I'm gonna go safe, double protect, and if they Swords Dance switch to Sinistra, we cry. That's basically how it goes. Because the thing is, when you fight a popular team on ladder, sometimes you could expect what they're gonna do, and sometimes they just change it up every single time because they have like a slight 1 move adjustment which changes the entire matchup. So double protect, and let's see what they decide to go for. As we protect Rotom. A parting shot, my Rotom. Kowtow, okay. That's fine. I like the idea of close combat Volt Switch into Incin. The Gambit should probably be scared of me going for close combat into it. I don't know if Sinistra's coming in immediately, but I like the idea of close combat and Volt Switch into the Incin slot. Even if they go hard Sinistra, that's fine because I bring in T-Tar. Yeah, they do go Sinistra, perfect. Protect, yep. So I could have Brave Birded that slot as well, but I think this kind of covers a lot of different avenues. Now I threaten knockoff into close combat, which is pretty solid, I'd say. Because Volt Switch, and then I get the Sand Chip on the Sinistra, I think should allow me to KO with knockoff. Although, I think so, because they don't usually run the Dark Berry. I'm going Tyranitar still, regardless. And if they go Incineroar, they get punished because then I get my Contrary up with Staraptor. So I'm going to go for close combat, and I'm going to go for a knockoff into the Sinistra slot. If they Rage Powder, knockoff hopefully KOs, and if not, I don't think it's the worst, but it would have been more ideal. Let's see. Knockoff. Because we're Choice Scarf, we move before Staraptor. We do KO Sinistra, beautiful, so I do get rid of Sinistra, and that means close combat will get redirected into Gambit, which is massive. Yeah, because Berry, so it's the Ghost Berry. We do get a close combat off into the King Gambit, and I just OHKO the King Gambit because it's not Chople Berry. Excellent. So that's basically the best of like any world I could have asked for. So King Gambit goes down, and now it's like the final 2, which is going to be Incin plus a thing, and we're not even going to see it. So beautiful. Okay, felt like that was better from how I adjusted the first time, but I think I was kind of more prepared for it. All right, we have Charizard, Whimsicott, Incineroar, Garchomp, Basculegion, and Mawile. So Mawile and Incineroar on the Whimsicott stuff. Interesting for sure. I like Houndstone as a lead. I like Houndstone Staraptor, and I can actually lead Houndstone Staraptor, which I think is pretty good against this team. It's good into the Garchomp stuff, so I'm going to bring Staraptor plus Houndstone. It's pretty awesome, I think, against my opponent. And then I think I bring Excadrill Tyranitar back, because even though like Excadrill is usually 4th Flood in this matchup, I think it's still pretty good against Mawile. Pressure against Incin and Charizard, if it's a slower Charizard, is pretty helpful. So I think it's still pretty good. Venusaur, not really a big fan of realistically, and then Rotom is kind of whatever, I think. I think these 4 are pretty good, so let's see what my opponent decides to bring here lead-wise. Probably Incineroar, I'd assume. Like, Incineroar Garchomp makes sense to me. They could lead the Whimsicott immediately, but if they lead the Whimsicott, that's completely fine. I don't think they should lead Mawile. Also, does Houndstone live play rough? Houndstone has pretty decent defense, but I mean, Huge Power Mawile is just such a powerhouse here. So that's something I'm going to have to figure out. I don't think they ever lead Charizard in the matchup unless they're leading Charizard Garchomp specifically. If they lead Charizard Garchomp, that's acceptable. I think I have a way to play around it, but let's see what my opponent decides to go with. Whimsicott Garchomp. Okay, so they are leading what I would expect here. As I do lead Houndstone plus Staraptor. Pretty nice. Do I... This is Rock Slide Moonblast or Rock Slide Tailwind? I kind of want to go Tyranitar. No, I can't go Tyranitar. I think my play here is just to click Protect with Staraptor and click Wisp into the Garchomp. I think this is Moonblast, but we'll see. Oh, this is Tailwind. Okay, I thought they would try to cover the Staraptor. Okay, Rock Slide. All right, here we go. Rock Slide. Behave, please. Behave. Oh, that's really not great. Okay. That's not great. I'm gonna hope that they don't Moonblast a Houndstone. I hope this is either Encore or Moonblast into the Staraptor slot and I get a Brave Bird off in the Whims. But yeah, that's devastating. That's a pretty bad Wisp miss. Thankfully, that could mean that Garchomp could want to switch out. They don't switch out. I thought like Charizard could come in. Okay. We do Mega Evolve our Staraptor. We're going to go for Brave Bird. This could be Moonblast Dragonclaw, I suppose. This could be Encore. Let's see. What are you going for here? Moonblast. They did target the Staraptor slot, so Houndstone's eating it up. Nice. Did a bit of damage though. Special attack drop doesn't matter. Rock Slide. Behave. You can't be serious, man. Oh, two really bad back-to-backs. That might be game losing, realistically. I'm trying to figure out how I'm coming back in this. I can see a line here, but it's not looking good. I think I need momentum. I was debating about protecting Houndstone again, but I think it's better to get Excadrill in. Hopefully burn the Garchomp this time. And then Ironhead switch to T-Tar, KO to Whimsicott, and then Tailwind fades. That's my plan. They go for Moonblast, they target the Staraptor, okay. So this is already good. This is looking good. Missed a Houndstone. Okay, we do hit the Wisps. That's what I needed. That's step one. That's step one, at the very least. Alright. I think if there's any chance of me winning this, it's not Life Orb Garchomp. So I'm gonna Ironhead the Whims, and I'm gonna switch to Tyranitar, and hope that they try to Moonblast Self-Earthquake. T-Tar should hopefully live after the burn. I need to KO Whims before I can get another Tailwind up. That's kind of the goal. And I hope that they just don't allow Staraptor to come in. Yeah. I thought they would Moonblast because I didn't think they want to try to let Staraptor come in potentially for free. So they did Moonblast. Okay. This should be Self-Earthquake. And if they didn't Earthquake, that means that the Sand KOs the Whimsicott. So that's kind of the idea. Also bring out the T-Tar as my best option because I can't sack Staraptor here. Okay, we get rid of Whimsicott. So holding our breath, but it's playable. Playable. Alright, Tailwind Peter's out. This is Charizard, Basculegion. I think I just double up the Basque here. It might have Aqua Jet, it might put me in range, but granted, I need any damage on the Basculegion. So I'm gonna go for Knockoff, and I'm gonna go for a Rock Slide. They go for Jet and a T-Tar, understandable. I at least get Rock Slide damage into Basque. Do I get to see if it's Life Orb? It's probably Life Orb, I imagine. Yeah, okay. It being Life Orb makes sense. We hit the Basque, which is important. We also have a flinch chance on Garchomp as well. They Self-Earthquake, but that's actually okay for me. Because, yeah, Excadrill actually takes nothing. Because we had that Intimidate earlier. So now Star After is actually in a good spot, and Houndstone is actually usable here. So we're gonna go Star After. We threaten Braybird into the Basky Legion. So we're gonna go for Braybird, and we're going to swap to Houndstone. Yeah. I don't know, does it protect Bask or they just raw Aqua Jet? They raw Aqua Jet. I think I live raw Aqua Jet in the Rock Slide if I'm not mistaken. I need Excadrill so I can Rock Slide to Charizard in the end game. Okay, they protect Garchomp. I don't think this should be ever double protect. Okay, they didn't even Aqua Jet attempt, so I think they tried to Wave Crash the Staraptor. Braybird KOs the Basket Legion is massive, and I actually have health on Houndstone, which is helpful. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how I play this endgame, but it's looking all right. Oh, Mawile is the last Pokemon. Okay, this gets a bit weird. I get the Contrary boost, which is good. At the very least. Is this close combat into... I think this is close combat into the Garchomp and Whisk the Mawile. I didn't expect the Mawile to be Intimidate either because I thought it'd be Hyper Cutter because a lot of the the potential dual Intimidate teams don't usually have it. Close combat should knock out the Garchomp, and then I don't have to worry. All I have to do is like isolate this Mawile, and then I get a Wisp off, hopefully, just to burn the Mawile so I can live Sucker Punches. Okay, we get the Wisp off, that's huge, into the Mawile. So the Mawile's burned now, and now we're about to get a close combat to Garchomp, so we get the defense boost. And I assume +1 KOs Garchomp at this range, but let's see. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Not out of the woods yet, but it's looking really good. It's looking really good. They play rough to Houndstone, and Houndstone's just a goat and actually survives that. That's crazy. Okay, beautiful. That should secure the game then. Because it's Mawile versus the world, I just spam close combat, and I'm going to just go for Ally Switch? Ally Switch. Because they either Sucker Punch... Actually, no. They probably play rough a slot, but realistically, I think Ally Switch is fine. Because the thing is, the one... Like, Last Respect isn't doing too much damage at -1, and it's only 1 base power increase. I might as well just get an opportunity where I can get multiple. Oh, they Sucker Punch the Houndstone for the Last Respect. But you know what? Ally Switch prevents it. We get a close combat off in the Maw. Does this KO? Does so much damage actually, but not a KO. And now Mawile is just going down to a burn afterwards, so nice. Okay, even after that terrible start, we found a way to position. We got an opportunity to KO the Whimsicott. They gave me that opportunity, was able to find that route, and even though like it was a pretty big disaster at the beginning, I'm very proud about like finding that route to KO the Whimsicott and then getting a really good position in the towards the end here. Oh man, because it was not looking good at the beginning, but thankfully I had ways to win, which was I found the ways, and luckily hit the second wisp, I guess. I don't know what to say. We just found a way. It's like Drake and Josh, we found a way. So how was the team? Well, I really did enjoy the sand mode, especially with Star After. Of course, that's what I mainly piloted for the video, not only just showcasing it, but like I did feel like it was like the strongest options I did have. Venusaur, I wasn't a big fan of just using this Venusaur. I'm not really a big fan of using Sleep Powder in general. We played a bunch of Garchomps too, and it's actually funny because I'm pretty sure that Michael did mention in his report that generally you do bring Venusaur into a lot of the Charizard matchups, but I just wasn't really comfortable with bringing Venusaur because it wasn't able to really chip away the Garchomp as much as I would have liked. Maybe if I led something like Venusaur plus Houndstone, it might have been better since I have access to like Sludge Bomb plus like Willis. But I really liked the Megastar After because it felt like it was pretty good into just being able to pivot into stuff like Basket Legion and the Garchomp, as well as like threatening the close combat Braybird, and Tailwind is also really nice. So kind of hard to say. I really did like how the Star After mode played more than the Venusaur. And again, like I think if I had a grasp, maybe it'd be a bit more like I'd be willing to bring Venusaur, but I just never felt like I really wanted to go for Sleep Powder, and it didn't feel like the other coverage options really justified bringing Venusaur for me. But Houndstone was actually really nice. I did really enjoy playing Willis and Ally Switch, which of course that move sometimes you just forget it's in the game sometimes, but Houndstone's one of those Pokemon that do get access to it, and we were able to use it pretty strategically. It used to be way more broken, so don't complain about ally switch as much now, but like that move is still pretty absurd. However, I think we were able to showcase like how well Houndstone can pair with, especially we saw Last Respects doing some good damage, Willow support, and how bulky Houndstone can be. I think it was pretty effective. If you'd like to check out MDB, as I mentioned before, and the details of this team, you can check it out down below description. And of course, you could check out the team with the replica code on your screen. But otherwise, of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.